Folks, I thank you for joining us on this Thursday evening. It's about 8 o'clock here. Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley with you. And I want to take a little bit of time, an extended forecast, if you will, to let you know what we have on the way. We're not calling this a alert per se, but you're still going to have some pretty impactful weather going through tonight, overnight, morning, midday on Friday, and all the way through Friday afternoon. What's going on, we've already had a good chunk of this, is on again, off again, heavy rain. And yes, there's possibility of a bunch of different things. We could have some thunder at times. We could have some small hail too. And we've already seen some downpours. We're likely to have some more of those. The time frame, we're already in it. Basically from now all the way through late Friday, there's the threat of some pretty impactful weather. So if you don't have the rain gear close by, like we're saying you need to, you're going to get caught in some of this. So don't leave home without the rain jacket or the umbrella unless you don't really care about getting wet. That's kind of the name of the game over the next 36 hours. Going to start you out on the wide view, then we'll dive in locally and kind of explain why this is all happening as well. What we have, you can almost visualize it. There's a big dip in the jet stream right now across the eastern United States. So for us right here in North Carolina, we've been getting cooler than average weather. And right now we're throwing in a low pressure system on top of that chill. So you probably noticed today when this rain rolled in, our temperature really took a big drop and a tumble. That's all related to what we've been seeing. Now this is round one of showers across our area. It started earlier this afternoon, right around 4 to 5 o'clock in our western counties, and then rolled past us and is still going closer to the Raleigh area. The thing about this band and everything else that we're going to track for you through tonight and through Friday night, slow moving. We're not talking about fast moving systems here. It is a slow weather system and one that's really not in all that much of a hurry. So let's take a look at the local radar again. This is live as of the 8 o'clock hour if you're watching this on delay. We've dried out a bit after this first round of rainfall across the Triad area, but it's still coming down at a really good clip in some of our counties. You're done with this in Forsyth, Rockingham, Guilford, and Davidson counties, but to the south, it's still coming down pretty steadily. Let's take a look at you in Randolph County right now. From Level Cross, you're about done, but down to Asheboro, still a little bit of light rain lingering over you. Heavier rain down here in the southern part of the county from Coal Ridge down to Seagrove and Starr and Montgomery County too. Ramsor getting heavy rain, Siler City as well. In fact, those areas, it's actually a bit of a downpour at the moment. Asheboro in about 15 to 20 minutes. You should get a nice break in the action. Good news, if you're trying to walk the dog or doing any of those things this evening, you should be able to get outside a little bit drier in about 15 to 20. From Liberty, though, to Julian, their rain is almost over with. Over to Siler City, it's still coming down at a pretty good clip. And this is going to work its way through Chatham County over to Pittsboro and then closer to Raleigh as well. Up the road we go, up 49. You go into Burlington, you're basically done with the rainfall, but still coming down in Snow Camp, Saxbahaw too. Mebane basically on the outside edge at this point. Graham just about done. Elon certainly is done as well. Now, what have we seen apart from the rainfall? Well, there have been a couple of nice looking scenes. A lot of darker and even spooky looking clouds earlier, but this is a nice shot from Dawn Everly. She's in the Level Cross area. And if you look carefully, not only do you see, well, a really nice full rainbow, but there's the faint reflection of a double rainbow as well. That's kind of a cool thing to see. And this is another shot from Dawn. Really a vibrant rainbow there and that faint reflection right about here. What happened with this is as this line of rain and storms pushed through our area, we started to get closer to sunset. A little bit of light snuck in on the horizon. And what that light is doing, it travels in this direction. There's rain falling right about there, and it refracts that color, the light. It scatters that white light into all of the individual colors that we know, the Roy G. Biv spectrum, right? That's kind of how this projects, and you can only get it when you get that right angle of the light. At this point, we've dried out a bit. Here's a nighttime view of Winston-Salem. You know, they were even able to play the ball game over there. We have the Dash taking on the Hoppers. And again, not a nice night for baseball necessarily. It's cold out there, but we are seeing drier weather at the moment. And that's kind of the theme that I want to carry on in the forecast for you is, yes, it's really going to rain like mad every now and then, but then you get big dry spells as well. And that will be the case for Friday also. So that's really a big part of our forecast. Here's how it looked throughout the day in Winston-Salem. I'll get out of the way so you can see it. But this round of rainfall really lasted about 3 hours or so. We had a flash of color towards sunset, and now we're having the dry weather. Here's how it looked in Greensboro earlier today as well. These clouds rolling in, downpours too, and then, yes, the clearing has started to settle in. And again, we're going to have that for tomorrow. Rain totals just as of the 8 o'clock hour. With this first batch of rain, we've already picked up about 3/10 of an inch or so. For the whole event, I'm expecting about 3/4 of an inch of rain to maybe a little bit more than an inch in some areas. So we're already about halfway there in some cases to 1/3 of the way there. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as we track this system for you. Now let's get to the forecast, talking about where we're going through tonight and into the day on Friday. To do that, let's explain what's going on right now off to the west. Our weather was not severe and not damaging. Not yet anyway. Well, what's going on over here? You see all these yellow boxes in Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee too. They've been having some severe thunderstorms throughout the day. Well, this has to do with the type of weather system that we're dealing with. It's called an upper level low pressure system. Well, what is that? I'm going to show you this product here. We call it the water vapor loop. What it does is it shows you how the air is moving through the atmosphere. It's kind of like an X-ray of sorts. You go to the doctor, you break your arm, they take an X-ray. With this, we're able to see what's going on in the atmosphere that we can't really with our naked eye. So it's kind of like an X-ray for the atmosphere. Do you see what I'm seeing here with this little swirling motion right about here with these darker colors? That swirl is digging into the south, and what that does is it makes it really easy for air to move upward and caused trouble. When the air goes up, you get rain, you get thunderstorms at times as well, and you can occasionally get some severe weather. On this particular day, the air is really cold with that upper level low, and so you can create ice a lot more easily in these showers and thunderstorms, and we know that as hail. Hailstones have been flying all over the place today across the Mid-South, from Memphis over to Knoxville, Nashville to northern Georgia and Alabama, all getting hail reports. We just went through this back in our Triad area in the middle of March. We don't want to have a repeat of that, but it's possible we could get our hands on some of that hail going into tomorrow. I tend to think it'll be smaller than what they're seeing over that way, but we'll want to keep an eye on it. You see, their risk level for today was a level 2 out of 5 with severe weather. We are only at a 1 going into tomorrow. But a lot of these storms are pretty impressive. Consider too, their temperatures today have been in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees out that way. For us, I expect us to be basically upper 50s to around 60 tomorrow. So we don't have as fuel to work with, but boy, oh boy, this has been a big mess in northern Georgia right now. This is all part of that big dip in the jet stream that I said. That's that upper level low pressure system, and where it was, I was just showing it to you over in St. Louis. It's going to pivot slowly over us in the Carolinas for tomorrow, and as it does, it'll make it easier for us to pop some showers, downpours, thunderstorms, maybe some small hail. This is what we expect for your Friday. And again, just to educate a little bit, that big dip in the jet stream is creating what we call an upper level low pressure system that'll pivot its way into the Carolinas going into tomorrow. So let's boil this down to a futurecast now. Here's where we've been. That's that first line of rain and storms that really is starting to move away from us right now. So let's take a trip forward in time. This is that next round that's already approaching the North Carolina mountains. Our futurecast suggests it will slowly pivot toward our area, clip our southern counties later on tonight, and then by around 1 to 2 a.m., it kind of swings like a door, opens like this, and moves into some of our eastern counties. This would be 1, 2, and 3 in the morning. It's possible there could still be some thunder and lightning associated with it, even while you're trying to sleep. I know it's cold outside, but that's what these upper level lows can do. So don't be shocked if you wake up to some loud weather noises overnight tonight. For tomorrow, we're going to see the same sort of setup. As the day awakes and we start to warm things up ever so slightly, you will start to bubble up these little individual showers, and you see how small they are. This is classic for an upper level low. They're not big time heavy duty storms, but they're little potent ones. Small but mighty, but they can put down some really heavy downpours, and occasionally they can put out a lot of small hail. Enough that can coat the ground or coat the sidewalk and just kind of make you say, wow, that's something I haven't seen in a while. You could see that tomorrow. I would especially expect it in our southern and eastern counties, especially over toward the Raleigh area also. Now, again, you'll want to have the rain gear close by all day long tomorrow, not because it's going to rain all day, just because there's that risk or that chance for a while longer. Our Futurecast clears it out by Saturday morning. I am a little skeptical of that. I think we might have a little gloom and a little drizzle that lingers for the first part of Saturday. A little bit more of a close-up view. What I've done here is I've outlined the temperatures as well on top of the radar picture. So again, we're starting at 8 o'clock tonight. Let's go forward in time. Once we go a little bit closer to midnight, here comes those second round of showers and storms for our southern counties. Notice how cold it is. We're in the upper 40s to near 50s, so not a lot of energy to work with here, but they're trying. And then as we go after midnight, it'll start to pivot up toward Burlington, Raleigh, Siler City, and Sanford. Be on the lookout for maybe a little late night thunder and possibly some hail too. Tomorrow morning, temperatures in the low 50s. A spotty shower is possible. Midday, we're still stuck in the 50s to low 60s. The reason there's a better storm chance to our south and east is very simple. It's cold here. It's warmer there. 50s, 60s. That's why the risk is a little bit higher over that way. But throughout the day, just keep the rain gear close. It could rain at any time, and you don't want to be caught in it. Now let's talk about the drought. We haven't mentioned it in a little while. This was the drought as of last week. We're in what's called a moderate drought level, that yellow or tannish shade here. The tan is the moderate drought. The yellow just means abnormally dry. Now, that was the case last week. Look at what we've done now. We've taken that tan away from our area, and this is the current status. So now, yes, we're still a bit dry. We could still use additional rainfall, but the worst affected drought areas are now our south and west. So overall, we did pretty well this past week with getting an inch or two of rainfall. This is mostly just going to be from now through tomorrow that we'll be looking at some additional showers and maybe thunderstorms and a couple hailstones also. This low pressure area, which is slowly moving through the area, it'll only make a little bit of progress off to the north of us on the day on Saturday. Hey, what's interesting too, what this is going to do tomorrow and into the weekend, as it goes into the northeast, you see that whitish color? Snowfall. Can you believe it? Places like New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, up to New England, they're going to get some snow out of this. And oh, by the way, locally here too, our North Carolina mountains, they could pick up a little bit of snowfall also for tonight and into the day tomorrow. It's something that happens. It's not unheard of for the month of April, but it's always interesting to see when it does happen. Rain potential with this system, I mentioned we already picked up about 1/3 of an inch. You add a little bit more to it tomorrow and early Saturday, we should end up right in that 3/4 inch range. Now, with a scattered shower system, there are going to be winners and losers out of that. Not everybody is going to end up with the same amount of rainfall. It will be imbalanced. But even so, it's nice to see some rainfall across our area. Here's the plan for tomorrow. I know this is not super detailed. We put every hour on here for you. I can't tell you which hour it's going to rain at your house. I was just not able to do it. It's just not within my skill set. But it will be chilly in the morning, cool and cold for the afternoon, on and off scattered showers. Can't rule out the thunder or hail. Bottom line, just be ready. Don't leave home without the rain jacket. Don't leave home without the umbrella. Whichever you prefer, have it with you, unless you don't care about getting wet, in which case you probably don't watch the weather all that often, I would guess. There is plenty of storm fuel, even with how cold we're going to be tomorrow. We call this CAPE, but all you need to know of it is storm fuel. There's a lot of potential for upward motion tomorrow, which is what creates thunderstorms. The reason is, even though we're cold at the ground, it's so much colder above the air tomorrow. So when you do that, you're just allowing that relatively warmer air at the surface to rise up, and that's how you create those showers and storms in the first place. Saturday, we won't have that. I'll give you one last computer model before we let you go. Different opinion here. It's a different model, but it's telling the same story. It also has that second round of showers overnight tonight. And then throughout the day tomorrow, you see what it's doing? It's popping some of these showers and thunderstorms, but in a different location. So again, it's good to have multiple opinions here. Any of those could put out some hail pretty quickly, and then we'll be done with it as we go into Friday night and early Saturday morning. Maybe just a little drizzle would be the end of it there. As far as the weekend goes, we're not all that worried about rainfall for the weekend, but there is potential for maybe a morning shower on your Saturday. What I think you'll notice more than that, it's windy, it's cold, there are some scattered dark clouds around. Temperatures not that great for April, folks. We're going to be in the upper 50s for Saturday, and that's it. As far as Sunday goes, it'll be less windy, it'll be more sunny, and it will be warmer. Upper 60s is what I'm expecting at that point, and it should be a pretty good day. Now, the pollen report still came in the high range for today. However, I expect it to be a little bit lower for tomorrow considering the rain that we just put in the bucket today, and we'll get a little bit more rain as well for tomorrow. Pollen season will continue, but we get these temporary little victories when we get some of those showers to wash out the air a little bit. 7-day forecast. Let's take it home for you. Upper 50s the next 2 days. Simply put, it's going to be cold. It's going to feel cold. It will not feel that nice. I know it doesn't sound bad, but that will feel chilly, especially when you consider we have a bit of a breeze swinging around the area. Upper 60s though for Sunday. That's the improvement. Then early next week, we'll sit there in the low 80s for Monday. It's a big warm up. Even if it's a temporary one, you'll notice it to start next week. Low 70s for Tuesday, and then we'll cool off a little bit with highs in the mid and upper 60s next Wednesday and next Thursday. Now, you can stick with us for coverage as we go throughout the day tomorrow. We can always get that live radar on our website, of course, on the News 2 app, the News 2 weather app, WFMY Plus. You're already here. So many places to get that weather info. We appreciate you counting on us to give it to you.